we wanted to have a conversation about burnout, about balance, and how to really have a long-standing career in birth work. Because believe it or not, the average career in birth work is 0 to 5 years. So I invited all of our panelists here. So if you guys want to take a second, just say your name and do a quick introduction. I'll start with Brianna, we'll go all the way down, and then we'll jump into our questions, and then I'll leave time for Q&A at the end so you guys can get some too. Okay.
Hi, I'm Brianna. I am a birth doula, also kind of postpartum, and I do childbirth ed classes privately.
Like you on the side like that.
I dabble. But yeah, I've been doing this almost, I think, going on 5 years now, and yeah.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
I'm Jasmine Waxter. I'm a home birth midwife, a natural holistic home birth midwife. And that's what I do. I catch babies.
Love it.
Hello everyone. I'm Crystal Drennan. I am also a birth doula, but more so a psychotherapist now, specializing in perinatal mental health. I also am the executive director for a new nonprofit specializing with infertility and adoption to help kind of give back to the community and provide help for those families regarding funds for it because there's a lack of it. So we're looking to give back to this. So, love it.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Falkenstein. I own Nurtured Foundation, Doula and Newborn Care Services. I personally am a postpartum doula, lactation counselor, sleep consultant, newborn care. I'm gonna
The resume goes on.
I'm slightly addicted to certifications and learning. I do intuitive and gentle sleep for the agency. I'm not working as a postpartum doula anymore because I have an amazing team that I work with. So, yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Michaela. I go by Kayla. I am a birth and postpartum doula and also a certified lactation counselor.
Okay, so let's start with the first question, which before we get into how do you recognize the early signs of burnout, which was the first question I emailed to you guys, let me ask you guys, how do you even define burnout? And anybody can take that question, because I know that that's the one that I just threw out there to you guys.
So, I will speak from experience.
Yes.
I've been a postpartum doula for 16 years. About 4 years ago is when I got out of the business, or not in homes, I still manage, but for me, I was getting to the point that I was dreading going to work. Like, I loved working with the families and all that, but I just was like, oh, I gotta get ready for work. And then the next day I'd be dragging, and it's just, my heart wasn't there. And I was like, I need to pivot. I don't want to get out of this work. And that's why I went to sleep consulting, because I do a lot of that virtually. And I'll do some like consults and things like that. But for me, I knew when I started dreading that it was time to back off, and I waited too long. Because even the thought of doing, 4 years later, doing it overnight, I'm like, ooh, that would take a lot of energy. And it doesn't help, as you get older, it's harder to do those nights. There's a reason when you're in your 50s, you don't have newborns. But for me, it was really starting to dread.
Anybody else want to define burnout before we move to the next question?
They're all
I think she
Right.
did such a great job. I mean, mine was fairly similar.
Okay.
It was in the means of I started only accepting births for repeat clients, or even direct referrals. I was very hesitant on. Even then, the past year specifically, I'm like, oh, I don't know that I want to take a birth, because I found the closer I was to their due date, I'm like, I have to go do this. Maybe I don't have a bag. Maybe I should think of some snacks, or I should do this. I have to check in on them again. And then when I learned I didn't want to even build a rapport with them, and I was like, it's not that I didn't want to talk to them. It's just, I almost felt like it took more from me than I was able to give.
It felt like work, didn't it? It felt like work instead of I love what I do.
Okay, which goes into how do you personally recognize the early signs of burnout in yourself or others? So, anybody else want to tackle that one?
I think I just felt, felt like I didn't want to, as they said, I just didn't want to do it at
Yeah.
all. Like, I love what I do. I love the families and the connections that we do have. But God, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to a birth, I used to be like, yeah. And then you just be like, dang.
I got one.
Yeah.
The turnaround time after going to a birth took longer.
Yeah.
So for example, this most recent birth that I went to, 3 weeks ago, I had such a hard time bouncing back. Now granted, I do have a 1-year-old who does not sleep.
I can help.
I see that when you
I made her friend today, but I have a 1-year-old who doesn't sleep, and then I come home and while I should have canceled on my clients on Monday for therapy, I was also just kind of like, I was looking forward to that. So that's how I knew that I was like, for me, I was like, okay, I might be burnt out with births, but I was looking forward to seeing my therapy clients that Monday. So I was like, I need some sort of normalcy, and staying at home wasn't going to be it because I was touched out, and my kids would have made me more touched out.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would say for me, like, as I was like thinking about that question at home this week, I think that what I do personally is I like disengage from my clients or just community.
Yeah.
And that just cycles and makes everything worse and makes me feel like crap.
Yeah.
So I think disengagement, and then also like anger in our system.
Yes.
I feel like when I'm starting, after I have a really hard birth, or I have a really hard provider, and I just get so angry. I'm like, wait. So I feel like those are two, like for me, those are big triggers that when I like recognize that in myself, I'm like, okay, wait, you need to like adjust.
Yeah. Okay, so then that goes into what strategies have helped you prevent burnout while balancing your work and personal life?
Boundaries. Have to create boundaries. We cannot be everything to everyone. And for doulas, the first 2 letters being do. Everything.
Yes.
Everything. I mean, literally, we want to be everything to our clients, and we have to know that we can't. And then also knowing, like, outside of being a doula, I'm also a mom. I have a partner, like a friend, a sister. So you have to be mindful that you have to set boundaries. And sometimes we have clients that are very, like, Velcro. You have to be like, okay, I can help you, but if I take the time to read a text of them sending me their baby picture, the next question might be, can you look at my nipples? And I'm like, oh God. Yeah, you open up that
You
door.
opened it,
And now it's a conversation about we're having issues latching, so you just have to create those boundaries and know whatever you set in place for yourself, stick to it.
Yeah.
If you say, I'm not gonna do work on this particular day, which Jerry will tell you, she is my accountability partner, Fridays, I'm not doing it. And I tell her, remind me that I said that I'm not gonna do it. And you have to schedule days off. Like, we know that having a business, we're on all the time, but you definitely have to set that time for yourself because we have to recharge. We cannot give them what they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's so true. So boundaries for sure.
Yeah.
I think too with the boundaries, like equal to that is communication of those boundaries.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't communicate with our clients or our colleagues or our other just community, like there's no point in setting boundaries if we don't communicate that to our clients and the people that we serve.
How do you get brave about voicing your boundaries? Because sometimes it can be hard to tell people what your boundaries are.
I think setting expectations up front.
Okay.
Like with my clients, I'm very clear on how to contact me and like times and what to expect, and I think I've perfected it at this point. But people are people,
Right.
They're still gonna do their thing how they do, but
Yeah, I love that. Saying it up front before you even get to the issue.
Yeah.
And I think too, as like when we do things as a community, like with other doulas and trying to partner with each other, when I say no, it's not no to you, it's just no to the situation because I don't have anything else.
Right.
And sometimes people take it very personal when you say no, but I can't show up for you if I'm over here tired. Tired is not even a word in this work, and we all know it pulls a lot from you, so you have to really be mindful to, take that time.
I think one last thing that I would add to it is that giving yourself permission to get upset, to be frustrated, to just like giving yourself that moment to just be like, okay, let's sit with this. I'm upset that I'm burnt out because I don't want to be. and giving yourself that time to just take that step back, recognizing what you're feeling, and then evaluating your needs from there.
And that helps you set the boundaries too,
Mhm.
right? Sometimes you have to be pushed too far.
Yeah.
So when you're like, to know where you're about. You're like, okay, this is a boundary.
Yeah. Okay, so how can doulas and birth workers set healthy boundaries with clients and colleagues? What do you guys think are some of the things that you guys have shared that create a healthy boundary? Like Kayla shared, she doesn't work on Fridays, so Friday is her day off. And Brianna shared communication. Here's when I'm going to answer a text message or a phone call. I know I am available to you on call, but you cannot call me and text me 24/7. So like, what other boundaries have you guys set with clients that have been helpful?
Trying to think.
Those
You
are
were
the
pretty
key
much-
ones. Those are the key ones.
Those
Yeah.
kind of eliminate a lot of the other issues.
Yeah.
I think for me, even emails, I would answer because we're always on our phones, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like watching TV and an email comes in at 11:30 on a Saturday night, and I'm like, oh, I'll just answer that right now. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
because you told them what your expectations are and what your hours are, and if you do that, you're not respecting your own boundaries,
Right.
and now they're not gonna understand when you don't respond really quickly.
Yeah.
So for me, I started making like a to-do list. So if I saw it, because the anxiety, I was like, don't forget the email, and I would just go ahead and like put it on my to-do, like answer Andrea's email on Monday, kind of thing, and then I can let it go.
Yeah.
I think time blocking as well,
Mm-hmm.
like knowing that from this time to this time I'm working.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm done. Because when you go to a 9 to 5, you're working during that time and then you get to go home. But with this, it's always there with you. So you have to make sure that time blocking. I also think too, setting a space where you work. So if you, in your living room or in your bedroom, no, those are places where I compress. Work needs to be over here. So sometimes that's outside of the home or a designated place in your home so that you can actually turn off. Because we're always on, but you have to take that time to like turn off.
Yeah.
Something that I've been doing recently is I'm letting my phone be my phone, and then whatever else that originally wasn't on a phone needs to be on my computer. So if I have to do it, if I typically would sit on a computer to do it, then it's going to stay on the computer. If I'm checking my email, then I need to go sit and go on the computer for it. I'm not gonna make it on my phone. And that's something that I've done like with social media even, because I used to have to go to my computer for that. So like when you think about it in that way and you keep it separate, that's helped me, for example, keep that boundary. Because a lot of us, we have our phones on us at all times, right? We're always connected. But how do we disconnect a little bit? And that's how I found a way for myself to disconnect.
Okay, I want to open up to you guys. Do you guys have any questions or comments or anything that you want to ask the panel at all? Anybody? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I build on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When I started doing postpartum work, I really realized how important it was to treat myself as much as possible. Like I was also in the postpartum time.
Oh.
So if I was working with 3 overnights a week with twins, which happened a lot, I had to treat myself knowing I had nutrient-dense foods in my freezer. I blacked out the time I was sleeping. I blacked out the time my phone was on DND. That is kind of huge. I've never been somebody who works out like a lot. So I just started moving the way I would expect somebody to move prenatally or in the postpartum time. We're so immersed into this. We kind of don't leave that time because of our job.
That's an excellent point.
And it's so much easier to like preach this to our families we work with when we're trying to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Also, you've got great do not disturb settings on your phone. I have my like on call where that blocks off everything else except for texts from my clients if I'm waiting for like I'm going to work kind of text.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Yeah, and it eliminates everything else, so I don't have to hear all that other noise. And then setting that expectation up front of, hey, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. and this time, great times for us to have conversations, or if we gotta hop on a Zoom or whatever. Anything after that, feel free to text me, but if it's not emergent, I will get back to you. And if it is emergent, I will get back to you quicker.
Yeah.
You know? And usually that's much better. Usually when it's just like, do you like this bottle or this bottle? On a Saturday morning, I will message you on Monday, you know,
I am both.
I've been having contractions 4 minutes apart, I'm gonna text you now.
Right.
You know, so, treating yourself like you are also, nurturing yourself like you're in that postpartum time, I think is really, really helpful.
Yeah, that's a gem. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, Marie, go ahead.
I just want to say I love that because the thing that I was always telling myself is like I have a baby that's never growing up because you're basically going from one newborn to the next.
Yes.
And so like, you know, I've been working for 3 years
Yes.
having a newborn, and because I have young kids at home too, it was like I didn't have that time during the day to sleep either.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just now like taking some time off because I realized I've been postpartum for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like I need
Yeah.
to chill. Like I need to just sleep and recover because I'm in the burnout phase right now and learning like, you know, what I should have been doing.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, as somebody who has kids who are now leaving the early childhood space and are entering the middle childhood space, that they see when I am taking care of myself and they see when I am not. And as somebody who's raising kids who does not want them to, you know, get in the hustle culture, it's also kind of empowering when you're like, oh wait, no, it's working. You know? Doesn't work all the time, no. There's gonna be points where we push ourselves too much, but.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that also translates to clients. So one of the things, like talking about like the texts and stuff, so I used to do in-home postpartum care, and sorry Lisa, burned out a lot, and I took a very large step back from it. I think I only took 2 clients in 2024, and I primarily now still do my other things.
Okay.
But the thing that has gotten me back into it was knowing, like, I think I talked to Lisa about this a lot, it's like knowing how to set that boundary for yourself before it's too late, and filling your cup in other ways during that time. And one of the ways I've done that with in-home postpartum clients now is, you know, I say like, yes, you can text me, but I now have every one of my clients gets a personalized Google Doc with every single subject that I would talk to them about. And I have a blanket one so that I don't have to rewrite everything. So it's literally feeding, sleep, car seats, baby wearing, any random questions, postnatal care, any handouts, graphics that I would give them. These are things that we may also text about that are gonna be put in the graphic. So if they text me, I always tell them, like, you can text me at 2 in the morning, I'm not gonna respond to you.
Yeah.
And they know that. Even when I was working overnight, so I'm like, I'm not gonna answer you at 3 a.m. Hell no. But, you know, even if they text me, I'll say, maybe I'll do a quick answer, or I'll say, you know what, this is a really good thing to talk about during our next visit, and at the top of the visit is, oh, there's also a schedule on there, so when are things, and there's also the priorities for our next session. Priorities are questions, and I'm like, that's a great thing to add to our doc, and then that also puts the onus on them to go in there, and half the time the answers are in there. So, you know, just like directing them there, and then they have, again, it's a resource for them, and it also, first of all, respects my boundaries for myself, reiterates the boundary to them, and it also empowers them to do the same, and to be like, oh my God, I do have all these resources, I just didn't know where to find it. And sometimes they just need that reassurance, so it's kind of, it's like, you're doing it, while also you're doulaing them while also doulaing yourself. That's a huge difference for me.
The thing I was gonna echo is we're talking a lot about taking care, hi, I'm Rissa, I'm a full spectrum doula. I hear everyone talking a lot about taking care of your mental health, setting your boundaries, and how do we interact emotionally with our clients and as individuals. I've had 3 babies. I'm a birther too. And I still lactate. So I love to talk to my clients about how I too sit on an ice pack. I too put my own feet up. I too do my yoga, see my own pelvic floor therapist. And then when we have I have birthers beat the heat. I have a big summer party. I'm bringing out the buckets of ice water and putting all my birthers' feet in it. I'm nourishing them, but I'm setting the tone, because if I cannot physically show up, guys, I'm birthing people and they're sitting here. I can't sit here for hours if I haven't worked out my own core. Are we kidding me? Right? We're gonna burn out just because we're in our own physical pains, right? Because I'm tired of packing so much Tylenol, having to put ice on my own body, heat on my own space. And one of the biggest things that I did take was putting the body work back into myself. And then watching it manifest in my own clients in that way. Because let's have a postpartum appointment. I'll sit on an ice pack with you, because I carry my whole life around on these hips, right? And I too have birthed 3 babies in many different ways of birthing, and I want my clients to always understand, but we need to do it here too. We have to pour into our own bodies. We have to go home and take the baths, put in all the salves in our own spots, and carry all of those things, even our bags. Because respectfully, I've walked into births where I'm menstruating just because I'm in the birth. I'm menstruating and I'm not prepared. I'm menstruating and we're holding spaces that even if we're in hospitals or in birthing centers or at homes, I can't take care of my own menstruation. And that's really a frustration, right? Unless there has been times where I'm ripping postpartum pads up and putting them in my own britches. But if we are more intentional to be we birth too, or even if our uteruses have not shed the same way as everyone else's, our bodies are going to be just as important to put back into ourselves. So.
That's why I love you. You always drive it home, give it that
Okay, so back to the panel.
You want to add?
You can't sit all the way back there and raise your hand. Come on, friend.
I started waving.
But I had a question, but I guess you guys kind of already answered it. We have a few new birth doulas here. So I was thinking maybe any advice that you could give for a doula that's just starting out, far as maybe just kind of maintaining everything, also networking, finding backups. Lisa, if you want to talk about your beautiful agency. So I was thinking about something like that, questions along that line. And I had a question for you as well, Jasmine, because with you being a midwife, I was told recently, I don't even know where I got this information from, so I was wondering if you could clear this up. But a lot of times we have these moms that want to labor at home as long as they can to avoid all those interventions when they come to the hospital. I was told that you have to be careful doing that, because if we're not checking their heart rate or checking their something kind of blood pressure or something, it could be dangerous. Is that something that you could kind of speak more about?
I would say if they're already having problems with their blood pressure and stuff like that, they probably already gonna be in the hospital. But if they have a normal birth and everything like that, it should be fine. The only thing that you may need to be careful is if that baby comes out before you get to the hospital. But that's something I can think of that, I don't.
So don't listen to that, because if they're healthy and everything was fine prior to, it's not like all of a sudden right now things just have to go back.
No, usually 98% of the time, that's not how birth works, as we already know. So there's always signs and symptoms for the big mess.
Thank you for clearing that up. But some of the new birth people, that's birth workers, that may have had questions, because I know, you were saying some different things.
I'm just curious, because I am new to birth work. I have had 2 clients so far, and it was a boom. I'm just curious how, and you guys can kind of explain how you balance that burnout with doing the clients during the birthing process or whatnot, until I'm more comfortable doing postpartum. So, how did you start up? I guess is what I'm curious of, with finding clients or.
I think it's a stepping stone. For me personally, we connected and had our own little thing, and then I kind of, went off. I think just networking is honestly the best thing. I would say in the first couple of years, probably 90% of my clients were all referred to me from other clients or doulas or just people in the community or midwives at Fairview that I've connected with. And that just flourishes. And now I would say probably 50% of my clients now are just from either repeats or my clients' friends, which is like just a beautiful thing in and of itself. But networking is your best friend.
Yeah, being a backup to someone as
Yeah.
well, like just like having a sole person that you tend to back up with, can definitely get you a lot of births too.
Gonna do a shameless plug. You could work for an agency while you're building your business. I'm happy to chat.
Yes, I didn't even know about like that. I could do an agency and do it.
Yeah, so I can't speak to every agency because everybody operates a little bit differently, but with Nurtured Foundation, all the doulas that work on the team are independent contractors. So they have their own businesses. So they're, they can build their own businesses, do their own clients, and then if they want to take jobs through the agency, they can. So sometimes, that's how I started. I actually started through the Womb Wellness.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Years and years ago. They had, I think at the time, like 2 birth doulas. They were in Pepper Pike, they were in a whole different location. And I just asked like, hey, you don't have any postpartum doulas, would you be interested? And Jolyn was like, yeah, absolutely. And so that's how I started while I was building my business. And I thought I was gonna be a solo doula, like I was gonna have my own business. And then I started getting more work. And that's how the agency, it was an accidental starting.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to start to get clients because the agency is going to have the reputation and the advertising and just the influx to help you kind of get your footing. And you have at least my agency, we work very much as a team. So all those birth doulas on the team are going to be happy to give you advice and information and decompress after those births with you and backups and all that.
Yeah.
We need more birth doulas.
Yes, we need birth doulas.
We do.
One thing I will say about the agency is that you gotta be super cold with your consult skills because you are in constant competition with other doulas, and so you have to be very clear about what you offer, how you offer it, and how you can help. That's something that me and Lorraine worked on a lot because I was referring clients to Lorraine, and she was not closing the consult. So we had to go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, what is happening where you're losing it in the consult? And in the agency, you're constantly getting 2 or 3 other girls who are super dope and who do exactly what you do. So you have to be very, very cold with your consult skills. So that's the only, but the agency is awesome. I've been working for Nurture Foundation for a while with Lisa. Lisa's absolutely incredible. She is awesome with communication, handling client things that come up. She pays you in full and on time. And so so all of those things are important. But so I just wanted to say that your consult skills have to be very, very strong. So that's the only piece. But otherwise super love being IC for sure. Yeah.
Jariel, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Can I comment?
Don't you try to steal her from me.
I'm not stealing nobody. But I kind of have a different take though.
Oh, go ahead. Please.
My name's Danielle. I'm a birth and postpartum doula as well, and I've been doing this for almost 17 years now. So I've seen a lot of doulas come and go in the Cleveland area over the years. And I think, when I was first starting out, that I felt like I had to close every contract, and I felt like, why am I not? And then I started to realize that, like, one, there's probably going to be people that don't agree with me on this, but but I really truly believe that, like, there's a lot of doulas in this room, and there's a right doula in here for every mom, and I'm not the right doula for every mom, and that's okay, and part of not having burnout is making sure that the families that you're connecting with, you connect with, and that you're not just trying to sell yourself, to this person, because if you're not the right one, you're just not the right one, and that's okay, because one of us is. And we shouldn't be competitive necessarily, with each other, but we should look at each other as a community that we're all here for families and babies. But there'd be times where I'd have like a whole month and I wouldn't have any clients on the schedule, and I'd be ripping my hair out like, oh my God, how am I gonna pay my bills? And then I would, one day I just recognized that, like, this is the universe giving me the break that I need, and I need to respect and honor that. And maybe that is why so many of us also have certifications and other things, whether it be teaching or breastfeeding or birth photography, whatever it is, to kind of supplement that income for when we don't have a doula client. But try to honor that, you know, if you have a space that you aren't booking a client, like, that's okay. Take that time for yourself. Take that time to maybe do a certification on something or educate yourself, rest yourself, because then you will. And usually for me, I sound super hippy-dippy when I say this, but like for me, it would be like, you know, that time would go by and all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, thank gosh I didn't have any clients, because that was crazy. Like, I can't imagine if I was trying to attend a birth when this was going on in my life. So, you know, the right client is out there for you, and if you're just your authentic self, you're gonna connect with the right people, because nothing is worse than like working with a client that you're like, I do not jive with this person. And you don't want to be the one that's like looking at your phone like, God, like I don't want to answer this call, you know, like I don't ever want to feel that way towards a family. And
I'd say that adds to burnout when you do that.
for sure,
You're
for
just like,
sure.
It's like, I don't want to do this, but it's not, I don't want to do this work. It's, I should not have taken this client because there's
Yeah.
someone else who's a better fit for that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I always tell the story. So when the agency, when people will interview, they'll like leave notes in that client's thing. And the one doula, who will remain nameless, she had wrote in there. She's like, met with them. I'd rather lick sand. And I was like, okay, so that I knew, like, I would let them know that she was no longer available. But you get to that point, if you've taken a client or two that you're just like, I just want to work, and you get in there and you're like, dreading going. So yeah, you need to be that person that can be like, I'd rather lick, don't say it to the client, but I'd rather lick sand. So.
I'm like, I can't say who can I refer to, and then I'm like, oh, poor Lisa. Here's somebody.
You usually give me a disclaimer though. You've been good about that.
I agree with both of you, and I'm happy that you said that, Danielle, because I think as a new doula, you want clients, and you're so eager to get clients that you're probably trying to get anyone and everyone, and you are selling yourself as if you're in a job interview. So it's probably not even all that authentic. And I know for me, I was guilty of doing that. So it was like, and I was getting those clients that you guys had mentioned, that after you get them, it's like, we're really not even connecting. And so after that eagerness or that thirst ended, and I wasn't so pressed to get a client, and I'm just like, hey, I'm just gonna be myself. If they like me, they like me. If I like them, and I didn't, that's when I started meeting my proper match. I started meeting the clients that worked with me, and I didn't feel like if a client didn't pick me, a family didn't pick me, like, okay. But then I started loving my families and started building those connections and having those connections even past the birth. So I do think that was excellent advice, and thank you for saying that, Danielle.
Okay, any last comments from the panel as we wrap up?
I kind of feed off of that too, kind of going deeper into that too, like protecting your space. Like not only what clients you're taking, but like even if you have to like be specific on what hospital you're going to, or what provider they have, or what midwife they have, like if it's not somebody you are safe with or comfortable with, or you know, there's a hospital that I have a little bit of trauma with that I don't like going to, and I recognize that. So there's times I'm like simply like, I can't go to the hospital right now. Like so protecting those boundaries too, and not just client-wise, but like
and protecting yourselves, because we do in-home care, a lot of us. So if it doesn't vibe and chive with you in your interview, you don't want to go to their house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to spend up to 2 hours in your home multiple times. I don't want to come and labor with you in your home if I feel like I'm not going to be safe either. So no matter if it goes from one place to the other, like when you do these meet and greets, these consults, I have no problem telling people now, after 3 years, hi. If I don't like what I see on camera, I'm not going there. I'm just not going to walk in the door, period.
If you feel like the energy or the vibes are off, then they are.
Yeah, it has to be about choosing ourselves, choosing safe places, about where we're going to go, and then the rest will align.
And I like how Lisa usually says, like, they're no longer available. Like, you don't have to tell them you don't like them. You can just say, like, my schedule has changed. And I no longer am available. I'm really sorry. Like,
I don't want the client to feel bad. Like.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's like, I just, when you
said that like that's the professional way of saying I am not available for you.
Yeah. Okay, you were about to say something?
I was just gonna say, when you come into this space as a new doula, a lot of times we naturally wanna be like, oh, I'll just offer my services for free. I'll just volunteer. Listen here. It is work, okay? And you guys have put in the time, whether you're certified or not, you still have put in the time to hone your craft. This is a calling. This is not something that you just wake up one day and say, I wanna do this. It's in us. And what we give, what we give of ourselves and our time and our energy is valuable. So I'm gonna say the price is the price, period. And your clients are your clients. And the ones who are gonna pay, and the ones who are not, you can go talk to somebody else. So.
They'll pay for something else.
They will.
For sure.
I'll come into these clients' homes and they have $1,000 bassinets that talk to me and all kinds of stuff. So you can pay the price that I am asking you to pay. And those who value whatever it is, their sleep or having someone there to advocate for them, they will pay. They will pay for it. So do not undersell or don't be out here just giving out services for free.
I saw a hand in the front row.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put your hand right there.
Oh, I was just sorry. I was just gonna add to also the thought of everybody doesn't match with you, but also don't feel bad when people don't pick you. I'm a therapist and I have a private practice, and sometimes people don't pick me, and that's okay, because I probably dodged them. So I'm just like, but when I first started, my feelings would be hurt, like, why didn't they pick me? Am I not good enough? But now I'm like, yeah, okay. like you said, to the left.
The other thing, I just want to piggyback really quick on what you're saying about not working for free, because I'm 1,000% behind that, is as a community, we need to elevate this profession. Amen. So when one of us does something for free, it kind of keeps us pressed down versus lifting up this profession. So I just wanted to piggyback, because that was a really good point.
And when they offer it for free, the client tends to not have their heart 100% in it. You're valuable just because you already are choosing this profession. It is hard work. You are already valuable.
All right.
And can I say something real quick? I'm Jariel's dad, and I can tell you from the time she started to where she is now. Yeah, I know I had to do this. She's up here saying, yeah, you got to tell them what you work for. I remember her and her mother and me talking to her about this. Jariel, you have to understand, you're putting in all this work out here. This is not free. You are worth every penny that you're asking of these people. Yeah, but no buts. You just listen to what your dad says. So I just had to say that because she's come a long way in that part. So.
Thank you guys so much for the awesome questions. Crystal is the first person on the list for a massage, so Sierra is ready for you. And then Laura is gonna come front and we're gonna do some yoga.